Greetings and welcome back to part 3 of our 6-part series, Physician Contracting 101. Today in part 3 we will look closely at compensation and bonus provisions. These provisions are incredibly important in your contract. In my practice in dealing with physicians, many times if they are unhappy with the contracts they're currently in, it has to do with compensation and how it's being determined. It is incumbent upon you and me as your counsel, or whoever your counsel is, that you make sure you understand how the compensation provisions actually work. In today's session, we are going to look closely at compensation and what contract language about compensation means. Within the compensation provisions in an employment contract for a physician, typically they will occur in two ways. On the first hand, you will have a set salary. So you may have a provision that says you will be paid approximately $250,000 annually for the services you provide. What's become more typical, however, in some of the contracts is it's based on RVUs, and you will hear it's based on an MGMA survey as to what the conversion factor is going to be. And if you're going to be in the 50th percentile, or if you're going to be in the 75th percentile, or can you move up to the 90th percentile? In other words, it becomes extremely complicated, and you must fully understand how the compensation factor will be determined. Typically what happens is you will have your RVU units multiplied by the conversion factor, and that will set your salary. A lot of times the way the contracts are drawn is they will look at sort of giving you a percentage draw based approximately upon an 80% range, and then they will have a true-up either at the end of a quarter or at the end of a year to make full payment to you, or if you haven't worked sufficiently a number of RVUs, what you owe the hospital back. Again, you need to make sure you understand what the contract provides. In addition, with the changing landscape of the ACA, or Accountable Care Act, and a number of other things going on in the healthcare world, the way a physician is actually compensated or paid is likely to change. You need to make sure what your contract provides. Recently, I've been at a number of different conferences, and they talked about changing from an RVU to a QVU, or something based on a quality basis rather than simply on a type of act done by a physician. If it moves to quality, it changes the whole ballgame in regard to how you will be compensated, and you need to make sure you understand what those ramifications will be. Further, there is a number of different programs currently out talking about shared savings, and you should make sure that your contract provides that you can share in the shared savings of your group or of the hospital if you are in fact part of the acts of what's causing the savings to occur. So in final in regard to the compensation mechanisms, you need to make sure you understand your contract and what your contract provides. Similarly, there are a number of different bonuses that are part of a compensation package. Many times you will see a sign-on bonus, you'll see a relocation bonus, you may see an educational loan option, you may see other types of bonuses that are based on productivity. Whatever the types of bonuses, you should be careful and make sure that you understand how you earn those and when in fact you may have to pay them back. Many contracts have provisions that if you leave at a certain time of your employment, you may have to pay all or part of your bonus back to the company or to the hospital or your physician group that you're working with. In any event, you need to understand what the bonus amount is, how it will be paid, and what your obligations are for paying them back, if there are any. Finally, we need to look at what are some of the other benefits that you will receive. Typically, a contract will set forth your vacation, your PTO, your sick time, what you need to do as far as CMEs or your continuing educational needs, and how those things are played out. Sometimes in the contract they will have provisions that simply say they will be provided to you in accord with policies or regulations or rules of the hospital. If a provision like this occurs in your contract, you need to make sure you request those policies, rules, or handbooks so that you can look at and understand how you will be receiving these other benefits and what the actual benefit package is. So there's a lot to remember as you look at your compensation package. But remember, it is vitally important. I thank you again for joining for part 3 of our series, and I hope you will tune in for part 4. Thank you.